Welcome to the channel. My name is Crawford and this is Virginia's for Lowriders. Today we are taking a break from the Ranger. The reason we're taking a break from the Ranger, one, I feel like I've shown me working on the front end of this truck like 4 weeks in a row. So we need to change that up because it's pretty boring watching the same thing over again. Two, I feel like making something. I just need to get it out of my system. I understand that fabricating and welding and all the plating of the frame is making something, but it's kind of repetitive. So I need to take a break from that. And the third thing, I'm waiting on parts. I have parts stuck in California, I have parts stuck in Missouri, and they just seem like they're not moving. I have ordered everything to build the 3-link for the rear of the Ranger in November. So I don't know when that's going to show up for us to get that done. So we just need to take a break and make something. I have a pile of stuff here that I would like to turn into tools to help assist with lowriding. This is a bunch of random stuff that I have laying around. I did purchase this because I already own a Porter Power, but it's really large and kind of unnecessary for what we need to do. So I purchased that on Friday. We need to turn all of this stuff into things that help us with this thing and other lowriding projects. One of the things that I've always wanted to try to build, which is not really building, but it sort of is a lead hammer. This is just a chunk of lead attached to a steel pipe. This is what you use to put on and take off lowrider wheels. You literally just beat the crap out of that nut until it is tight or loose. That's how they work, and that's how they've been doing it for 100 years or however long it's been that they've designed knockoffs. These, as you can see, they get terribly worn out to the point where this becomes unusable. I've seen way back in the day, I remember it on Lay It Low, where dudes were taking those and turning them back into hammers. So that's what we're going to try and do. I've always wanted to try to do that. Another thing, there's a channel on YouTube called No Limit Fabrication. I will add a link to his channel in my description so you can go over and check him out. I don't know the man personally, but he has a lot of good information. He builds a lot of lowriders. He built a hydraulically powered C-clamp. I would like to build one for myself. So we're going to try and do that today. That's why we have the Porter Power, and that's why we have this big F-clamp. And the third thing is, I've been seeing them for the last couple years. There's a lot of companies that make them. There's a lot of companies that make them in China now, and I'd rather not spend $80 on a flimsy Chinese version, so I'm going to make my own. There's another way to take the wheels on and off of these vehicles that people have designed to where you're basically using a large wrench. It sounds kind of weird, and you'll understand as we get further along, but I would like to try and make one of those. If you've never been here before, there's like 9 videos on the Ranger. There's like 60-something videos on the Mazda. There will be videos on the van once I finally come across parts. I know y'all been waiting. I apologize for that. And the Caprice is coming in soon. There's tons of videos to watch. We upload every single Sunday, so there's always something to watch every single Sunday. I haven't missed a Sunday in like a year and a half. There's a lot of videos. That's a lot of Sundays. So we're going to get on this. We're going to make something, and I will go through and explain what we're doing along the way. But if you've never been here before, go check out those videos. Check out the video from 2 weeks ago. I uploaded a giveaway video. I'm giving away free merch. I'm giving away stickers completely for free. All you have to do is subscribe. That's it. Go watch that video. It's like 3 minutes long and subscribe. That's it. So it doesn't cost you a dime. So let's get into it before I ramble for like 20 minutes like I normally do. And we got to get some tools out of this mess over here. So yesterday, actually, and the day before, my buddy Justin and my buddy James came by, and we spent like an hour and a half, which I have a clip from it and I'll add in, attempting to get a cooking grill that my mom gave me when she moved. And we tried to use the grill to heat up lead inside of a cast iron pan. I tried to do this as simple and cheap as possible because these hammers are like 20 bucks on eBay now. So if I could come up with a system to where I can basically reuse this lead, because it doesn't really go away. Sometimes little chunks come off, and it happens, and you can't do anything about it. For most of the part, though, this thing stays intact, and it stays the same weight, but it just gets completely deformed where we can't even use it. As you can see, this has only been used a handful of times, and that's what they look like. These were complete hammers. I don't have everything on camera because we were outside at like 1 o'clock at night trying to melt lead inside of a grill, and it didn't work out. So there was a lot of wasted footage, and it was really dark. These were hammers. These started out as the same thing as this. I actually managed to melt these after buying some other things, which I will show the things that I purchased to do this. The clip that you're seeing right now, this is Justin and I at 11 o'clock last night attempting to pour the lead that I actually was able to melt down into a soup can. I purchased a cream of soup something or another from the dollar store last night, and I turned that into this. We successfully poured way too much lead. Like this, I have to try and weigh it. I bet this is 6 or 7 pounds, and the hammers are usually 4. But I couldn't find any in between cans, and I did come up with an idea after the fact to try and buy those little cans of pineapple juice. I think that would probably be the perfect size. But regardless of that, we made a really, really heavy version. So this soup can needs to be cut off. So, I don't know if I can actually take this apart now. No, I cannot. I'm going to try and cut this off, and we'll see what our results are. And after our results of this, I'll grab the little burner thing in the pan and show you what I did in order to make this. Hoping I can just peel the can off of it. I know that the bottom side is going to be deformed because I spilled probably 1/4 pound of lead. But hopefully the rest of it looks sort of like a hammer. I think it worked out pretty good. It looked like a soup can attached to a hammer handle, but it's there. There is like some residue from the can, probably like the whatever that membrane lining is that's inside of a soup can to stop it from rusting. But it's lead, and it's in the general shape of a hammer, and it is really, really heavy. I'm gonna try to tighten up a wheel and see how it does. The best thing about this, at least in my mind, if this doesn't work, all I have to do is reheat it, and you're done. Like, you don't, if it doesn't work the one time, you can just keep retrying it. The lead doesn't care. So there might be like a limit to how many times you can heat lead, but I don't think I'm going to find that, especially since my first go around worked out pretty well. Keep in mind, lead is extremely toxic. Do not do any of this inside if you decide to try to tackle this. Do not do any of this without a respirator on or gloves. I will go wash my hands immediately after we get done talking about this because I've been fondling this stuff too much, basically, after I figure out where I put everything. So I went to Walmart. You can buy cast iron pans at Walmart for 10 bucks, and you can buy this thing at Walmart for like $24. I did find this on Amazon significantly cheaper. There's like almost nothing to this little guy. We attempted to use the grill. We even put it in the grill. I'm not going to be cooking from the grill, so the grill is trash. It's antique, and it's rusting in half. But the grill just wouldn't do it. I looked up a grill. It should be plenty enough BTUs, but it doesn't seem like it's concentrated enough. So I purchased this. This is 10,000 BTUs, and it does the thing. It melts everything within a couple minutes. It's very, very quick. This is a cheapy pan. You can get them from Walmart for 10 bucks. This is brand new. I left it outside last night on accident because I didn't realize that it was out there and it was raining. And by the time it did, I just didn't feel like going out. This is what's left over. This is a chunk of lead. Just this guy on here, minutes. Super fast, super easy. A dollar soup can from the dollar store and a reused old hammer handle from a previous lead hammer. The other ones, usually this is how they end up. You use them so much that they turn into mush, basically, because all this is really thin steel. It's trash. But now that we understand all that, we will try to tighten the wheel with this and see how it does. And hopefully it doesn't come flying off and hit me in the head or something. For the people that don't know, this is a knockoff. This is how lowrider wheels are attached to a vehicle. You just bolt this adapter onto the hub. Very, very straightforward. This slides on, locks into the little teeth on the back. You always tighten towards the rear. Very, very simple. Normally you'd put, some guys use grease, some guys use anti-seize. I'm going to be taking these wheels off and on a couple hundred times. I'm not putting anything like that on there until I'm done. So, pretty straightforward. And that's why I use lead. The thing with a lead hammer, all day long, do whatever you want. It will not harm the chrome. That's exactly why people do it this way. I count that as a pretty successful tool number 1. So let's move on to probably making the knockoff thing. I got a good portion of everything cut. Got this T thing. This will go on the other side. All of this will make sense very, very soon. All of this will get welded to this plate. So what we're trying to do here is we're making a big spanner wrench, essentially. And all this spanner wrench is going to do, when it's attached to this guy, is turn this. It just needs us to grab these 2 prongs. So I need to figure out a good spacing. Pop some holes in here. I got one of my massive cheapy drill bits. It looks to be about 3/4, so that's what we're going with, and hopefully it fits. I'm gonna pull these off, mark it, drill it, and then sink them in and weld them all the way around the back side of this. Once that is welded up, this can get welded onto it, and it'll all make sense. I've never seen one of these in person, so I'm kind of winging it off of Google images. So yeah, it really doesn't matter if it's dead on exactly what they sell, I don't think. Unless they figured out something that I haven't figured out, but we'll see. And just like everything else that I always say, if it doesn't work, we'll just cut it off and do it again. It doesn't really matter. Because all of these pieces, like, I save scrap pieces of tubing like this. So far, I haven't had to buy anything to make this. It's all leftovers. So we'll see if we can save basically $100, and we're like 20 minutes into this. Now I forgot what I was doing. If you want some high-powered center punches, highly recommend these spring type. So, just to get a general idea, I don't think this has to be an exact thing. It's just something that grabs these in about the same spot. So let's say something like that looks pretty good. And something right there looks great. That's an exact measurement there. It's a little warm. So while I was on Google trying to just get a general idea of how big these things are, I came across a TikTok called, he calls his tool the knockoff buddy. So I actually took his idea. Sorry, I'm not stealing, I'm not reselling, it's for personal use. So thanks for the idea. I will link his account in the description. He actually sells these. He calls them the knockoff buddy. His look way better than the ones on Amazon or eBay or any of those. The ones on Amazon or eBay are clearly really thin tubing that they just mash the ends and put a crappy weld on it. His stuff looks really good, and it's almost the same price, which is crazy. So I made a stand. I'm waiting for it to cool down because it's extremely hot. But I trim these down. They don't need to be very long. It doesn't seem like, just enough to grab the actual knockoff. I'm going to put a little piece of rubber hose on to the end. That way it doesn't scratch anything, because that's the entire point of this, is to not mess up things. A little piece of heater hose. Fits right down on there. So this is nice and soft. I've seen the cheapy Amazon ones have like a really dense piece of foam here. So I got to figure out something to put here. If y'all got any ideas, just let me know, because I don't think I have anything laying around. I'm almost thinking the foam that you put around a garage door would work. If I can find some in, like, whatever that is, 2-inch, I guess. So cut this other one real quick. Maybe that thing's cooled down enough for us to try this out. But this looks like it's going to work out pretty well, especially for having no money into it. Makes it even better. We'll let that cool down a little bit. I'm still trying to find a piece of tubing for the last tool that we need to build, but here we are. It's looking pretty good. It is way, way beefier than the eBay, Amazon ones. I don't know if it's as nice as the knockoff Buddy Guys stuff. I'm gonna try to link it TikTok. I've never tried to. I'm assuming it's pretty simple, but I'll see if he has a actual website. But it says like 100 and something bucks for his kit, so I'll try and add that on my description. But yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's try it out. Ooh, that is hot. Hot, hot. So, this is similar to the knockoff Buddy stand, except for I made mine out of a bunch of junk. I seen he made his adjustable, and I thought that was a really good idea. That way you can bring this up to the height to where it's actually straight onto the knockoff. Lock it down. Oh, that is hot, hot. Probably way too hot to touch. About 8 years ago, when I started piecing together all of the stuff that will help whenever I want to eventually build my gasser project, I bought a bunch of straight axles from a guy. I'm going to reuse one of those straight axles. It's from like a 50 F100 or something. One of the straight axles came with these really long aluminum tie rods, or pitman arms, or whatever you want to call these. So they all had heim joints and they were threaded. I found that it fits perfectly inside of a piece of DOM. So that is going to be my handle for this. Let's see if we can take this wheel off with the tool. And we just beat it on there. I have the other one just in case this doesn't have enough leverage, but we'll try this one first. Of course, there's no weight on the truck. We're going to have to try the rear tire because apparently with no weight on there, this is not going to work. All right. I put that wheel on with a hammer yesterday. That's pretty good. I call that a win. We need to find a piece of foam, which I won't find today, but that's not bad. Here's a close up of the little stand. Got a little height adjustment for your 13s and 14s, maybe 15s or whatever I end up with later on. I'm gonna give that a coat of paint one day, or not. Probably not. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Alright, we are down to the final tool. I've been grinding on this little piece of tubing for the last 25 minutes, trying to get this to fit over top of the little cylinder. So this is the little hydraulic ram. Now I have a tube, or a piece of pipe, that fits over it perfectly. So, again, this is the no limit clamp, I guess you could say, for the lack of a better term. I haven't seen anybody else build one like him, so that's what we're going to coin it. He recommends the Bessie style clamp, and you can buy these off Amazon. You can buy them welding shops, Northern Tool, all kinds of places. I will say there's probably a quality difference, just like anything else. I purchased this one like 3 years ago at Carlisle from the Miller tool booth. I purchased 2 of them for like $40 or something crazy. And this thing's 4 feet long. You can get shorter ones in the same thickness, similar prices on Amazon. I need to cut this down. It's way too long. Basically, it needs to be long enough, just long enough to grab a frame rail. So let's just say it needs to open 6 inches. 6 inches is probably good. I'll measure this frame rail and maybe run out and measure my truck. But 6 inches is probably plenty enough between this point and where the cylinder is going to stop. So let's see if my bandsaw can rip through this real quick. We have to then take this off, cut this off of the end. We need to weld this little piece of tubing onto that. And that's pretty much the tool. He ran through it. He said he recommended doing it with a stick welder. I don't have any good stick rods laying around, so we're going to take it and cross our fingers. And again, if it breaks, I'll weld it back on and make it stronger. So let's cut up this perfectly good clamp in hopes that we can make it into a better suited tool for me. And with this, in doing this, I can still take this back off and use this tool as it's intended. And I thought that this was the coolest part of this entire purchase because my big one does not have one of these. This is a little tiny cylinder. This is really cool. I've been wanting one of these, so let's cut up a brand new tool that's been sitting over behind a shelf for like 3 or 4 years. Hot. Probably expanded too much to get over this. Oh no. Oh, it opened up a little bit. Okay. I gotta let that cool down. That is extremely hot. That is a total of 3 passes. Not bad. After that, pretty straightforward. This goes on there. So this goes here. This goes around here. When you actuate this, the cylinder pushes on the bottom, top of the frame, side of the frame, whatever it is, and this can't go anywhere because it's captive by that little thumb thing there. That's pretty cool. I think that'll work out pretty good. According to his videos, he uses it to do all of his frames, so it'll definitely come in handy. And it's pretty compact. I mean, it's big, of course, but I made it a little longer than I was thinking. But my thought process is I can always cut it down. I can't make it any bigger, so I think that'll work good. That's going to do it for this weekend. I am 100% out of time. It is already 7:30, and I should be done editing and posting this at 7:30. Again, I just keep doing this to myself. So, again, I appreciate y'all watching. We will be putting the, we'll just say, no limit clamp to the test this week. I'll be wrapping the frame some more, and hopefully parts show up by next weekend. And if they don't, we'll push the Ranger outside and we'll bring the Caprice in and start the body drop. Y'all let me know what you want me to do, because I should have been working on the van, and then I bought another project, and then this project has been nothing but parts issues. So yeah, you know the deal. It is what it is, but we're looking pretty good. Look at this. 3 new tools to the never-ending sea of crap that I own, but hopefully these tools will come in handy. Appreciate y'all watching. Don't forget to subscribe and go back and check out the giveaway. It's free stuff. But I'll see y'all next Sunday. Thanks.